All right, hi you guys. Well, I'm here to do a little morning workout with you. So it's gonna be kind of like yoga inspired, but I'll be mixing it up, but I'm feeling like some flow. So it's still morning over here, and I'm just gonna keep it really easy. I'm not even gonna take off my socks. I mean, I might take off my socks while I'm going, but I want to have as little resistance to doing the practice as possible. Sometimes changing my shirt or throwing down a yoga mat is going to make it so I'm not going to move my body. And so, that's why I'm just wanting to keep it simple. Okay. So keeping it simple, we still want to come into what we're going to do with our core. And I just want to give a little bit of information about that because I'm not going to talk about that much, I don't think. We'll see during this. But let's start with standing in our neutral position and visualize letting the core have integrity. So we're going to be going for that zipping up and in kind of action. And taking deep breaths. So you're breathing up into your chest. You're noticing the length in your torso, giving like this energetic like seal at the base of your torso, at the perineum. And then allowing that breath to come all the way up, allowing the crown of the head to get higher toward the ceiling. And then reach the arms. Roll the shoulders. So all this whole while that we're warming up, we're just noticing the core body. So every exhale, drawing the navel toward the spine. You're reaching your hands and start going up onto the tips of the toes. Nice. Making a few shoulder circles. Noticing the tilt of your pelvis. So along with drawing up and in, there's a little bit of a lordosis correction. So like a lot of us, it's really attractive to have your booty sticking out. But when we're doing our practice and really throughout the life, we want to try to learn how to train the sacrum to rest in a neutral position. When the sacrum's in a neutral position, we're going to be engaging the lower belly. So making sure that when you're warming up your body, you're taking that curve out of the lowest part of your spine, taking the curve out of that part of your spine by engaging your core. Okay, let's close our eyes and just stand in a neutral position for a moment, hands at the heart. Every exhale, finding that integrity, all the muscles working together, and on the inhale, finding that buoyancy, that weightlessness, that invitation to infinite possibilities. Exhale, grounding, feeling the integrity in the body as you can even bounce here and feel solid, feel balanced. Inhale, opening, drawing the breath up and in, expanding through the chest, crown of the head closer toward the ceiling. One more deep breath here like that. Allowing the breath to even have a little bit of sound, like vibration in the vocal cords. In yoga, we call that the Ujjayi breath. Now we're going to reach the hands up like we're climbing a rope. And then exhale, broad hands, wiggle the fingers, arms down by your side body. Okay, let's roll the shoulders and get into a little, I'm going to get into downward dog. Let's do some downward dog. And bicycle out the knees. And then keep one knee really bent and stay there for a moment. Feel the back of the other leg stretching out. You can kind of start to rock your weight forward into plank, maybe playing around with the toes on that other side. And downward dog, and doing that a couple times. A little bit of plank, and back with the hips up. And then set the foot down, bend the other knee deeply. And then making sure that opposite leg is nice and straight. You can bend the knee if the heel is not down. You can go up onto the balls of the toes. Rocking the weight forward into plank. Integrity through the arms. Zipping up and in with the belly. It's kind of like a little authentic movement. This is your practice to just feel into your body. And then knees down, tabletop. Adjust the costume. Wow. Okay. And then let's roll the shoulders. So tabletop, like a super simple position, but there's so much to work with here. Fingers are spread out, making sure that the hands are under the shoulders, making sure the knees are under the hips. And then notice that resistance of gravity. So you're intentionally drawing the navel, the belly up and in. Inhaling, arch, exhaling, round. Using the pace of your breath, so slow it down. The breath can be maybe like 5 counts for in, 5 counts for out. In and out of the nose, the mouth, whatever feels good. Open up the throat. Let the mouth open on your inhale and pause. So next time you're in that arched spine, stay in arched spine. And see if you can articulate the shoulders a little bit further back. Nice, and maybe moving the neck around. And then bringing the hips into a little circular action here. Let's roll the hips. The knees are like the center access point, and the hips go back to the right, forward to the left. And in the other direction, feeling it in the side body. And then let yourself rest back into the child's pose. Get some length in the torso. Walk the hands further forward. Open up through the chest, extension in the spine. Exhale, getting heavier. And do this kind of like waterfall action with your breath. So you're going to inhale, find that length, and then exhale, drape back down. Inhale, letting the breath move the body. Exhale, heavier. And then inhaling, coming back up to tabletop. Let's walk the hands a little bit further forward, taking a plank. And then we're just going to play in the plank. So we're not going to hold the plank static. Just going to roll over onto the tops of the toes, the tops of the feet, and onto the side of the feet. Flex the feet, open up the opposite arm. Feeling the side body dipping one hip down. Inhaling, that hip comes back up. Really great shoulder stability. Flex the feet, engage the legs. So the legs aren't like loosey-goosey here. The whole body's working together like a team. And then round your spine back into plank. Oh, it feels so good. And then the side plank on the other side. And dipping the hips down. Inhaling the hips back up. Deep breaths. Find the places that feel good. And then when I'm coming back into plank, notice how I'm getting C-shaped curve with my spine, getting back into the plank position with integrity in my lower belly. And then coming into a little back bend. It's kind of nice having the socks on because I can really like slide my feet. And this is a really great transition for the belly muscles. Like this kind of shape change is all about the lower belly. Let's bring one leg up to the sky. Doesn't matter which one, just kick a leg up. So we're gonna close the hip and open the hip. Close, open, close, open, bend the knee. Step the foot forward, take some space. Any kind of lunge type position. In the morning and today's practice, I just really feel like kind of getting into all the nooks and crannies. So any lunge that's appropriate. Maybe you have your knee down. Maybe kicking the other knee out. And then coming out of the shape with integrity in the lower belly. We're gonna step this front foot back. So to step the front foot back, we're gonna exhale, zip up and in. Leg shoots back, plank position from plank. Exhale to lower. And inhale for back bend. And then even find space in the shoulders in this back bend. Exhale, downward dog. My socks are getting all crazy. And then I'm gonna kick up my right foot, open the foot. Ooh. My necklace is in my eyeballs, and close the leg. Okay, so we're opening the hip and closing the hip. And opening and closing. Woo! Oh, that feels good. And then on an exhale, lunge. My necklace is on my nose, and my costume needs to be adjusted. These leggings. Gosh. There we go. That feels good. Okay. So we're in our lunge. Loosey-goosey lunge. Nothing better than a loosey-goosey lunge. Ah. Let me put my knee down, get a little bit deeper, and then press that opposite knee out. Opening through the body, the torso. And then foot comes back in. And remember, coming out of the lunge, it's really imperative that we use our core to move our legs. So we're going to exhale, zip up and in. And then there we go. All right, let's open up the bodies and the hips a little bit more. And I like to open my body when I'm engaging my muscles. So first I like to engage the muscles by opening, and then I'll maybe do like a surrender type way of opening up the muscles. Exhale, drop the head in downward dog. Bend the knees. All right, now the first leg that you started with, for me it's my left leg. I'm going to exhale, bring the knee all the way forward. Kind of like work my core for a second here. I'm going to inhale the leg up, and then exhale, knee to forehead. Getting a little concerned about the tank top. Okay, there we go. Okay, and now we're going to go knee to corresponding elbow. Three times. Now the knee's going to twist over to the opposite elbow. And then last time, keep the leg up. Exhale the foot down. Downward dog. I'm going to tuck in my shirt. There we go. Okay, let's do the other side. Leg lifts up, open, and close, knee to forehead. 3 times. And the knee to elbow 3 times. Knee to opposite elbow 3 times. And leg open and then close. And walk the feet forward. Bow down. Whew. And just stay in this forward fold for a moment. Inhale, ragdoll up. Roll the shoulders. And then standing on one side, inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands to the heart. And then picking up that same leg that you're starting with, for me it's my left side. I'm gonna pick up the foot and make some little circles at my ankle. Okay, I'm gonna hold the knee up using my core. And then on an exhale, set the foot back for a lunge. Woo. Okay, so from your lunge, open up your front body, the chest, head goes up to the ceiling. For a high lunge, just marinate here for a little bit. Maybe reaching your arm up. Breathe into the rib cage. Reach both hands up again. And now we're going to open to a warrior two position. So that to get into the warrior two, we're going to be opening up the pelvis. So let's rotate toward that back foot, pivoting on the back foot. And now the hips and the torso are open. The arms come out parallel to the ground. Deep breaths here. Again, you can kind of like flow in and out of this shape. Sometimes I even pivot on that back foot, come into a high lunge again, and then I'll pivot back over into the warrior two again. It's getting really solid in these transitions, especially in the morning. I really like to make sure that my pelvis like knows what I expect of it, essentially, because all day I'm going to do all kinds of things. And I want to make sure there's integrity around my hip. So now pause in warrior two. Let your backhand go down, taking a little peaceful warrior. Opening up through that opposite side. And then we'll take a little triangle shape. Let's straighten the front leg. And starting to hinge the waist of sorts. Over the front leg. And this one's still about opening up the side body, or opening up the front of the body towards your side. Maybe making some circles with the shoulder. And then bend the knee back into that low lunge. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands go down, frame the front foot. Now low lunge. Inhale in your low lunge. Maybe you spread your feet wider. And then on an exhale, we're going to bring that back leg all the way forward. So we're going to inhale here. And then exhale, zip up and in. Belly muscles. Pick up the leg. Set the foot down. And pause in your forward fold. Come into a little squat. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, solid in the lower back and the lower belly. Sit back a little bit deeper. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, back into the squat. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, halfway. Squeeze your glutes. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, back into the squat. And then inhale all the way back up. Arms go broad. Now let's pick up the other leg. I'm going to change positions. Move the ankle around. Remember, I'm getting this movement from zipping up and in with my belly muscles. And then we'll step that foot back for a lunge. And then reaching your arm up and over so you feel a bit more stretch, more awareness of the rib cage, the space between the belly and the rib cage, and maybe dipping a little bit deeper into your lunge. Listen for the sound of your breath. Inhaling up, and so we're going to take it the warrior two. So we're pivoting on that back foot. Now the heels seal down, feet are perpendicular together, and the arms are parallel to the ground. And finding that sweet spot, front knee tracking over ankle. And more so than the alignment, like even before the alignment, just feel like the muscles are turned on. They're working, they're contracted, flexing, whatever the word is, you know, they're a part of this party that we're, this warrior party. And a little peaceful warrior. And a little triangle pose. Now both legs are straight. Make some shoulder circles. And then coming into a low lunge, pivoting on the back foot. Yeah, let's let the hands go down by the side body. Framing the front foot. And then on an exhale, we're going to step the back leg to meet the front leg and go into a forward fold. So inhale here, and then exhale, zip belly up and in to move that back leg, and forward fold on your next exhale. And then ragdoll up. And now wide legs. We'll bend the knees, sitting back into a squat, reaching the arms up and over the head. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale here. And then exhale, bend the knees, sitting back into a squat so the hips are going low. And then drop the head down. Play around in this kind of position too. And then inhale, arms come up. Straighten the legs. Exhale, hands to the heart. And one more time, inhaling. Exhaling into a squat, and then a forward fold. Taking a couple breaths here. And then on your next inhale, coming up. Reaching the arms, exhale, hands to the heart, heel toe the feet together. Okay, feeling good, feeling warmed up, feeling open, expansive, happy, energized. Let me know how you're feeling. Thank you.